Okay, here we come on another solid episode. Family, this particular story is bigger. This one is deeper and bigger than the good story that I told you in the previous episode. Because in the previous episode, I explained to you that Burkina Faso is moving in to take 40% of the gold share, right? This time, Burkina Faso is not going in that we want to take a share or we want to take part. No, we are taking full control. So be with me. This is about a Sophitex. We are talking about the biggest cotton company in Burkina Faso. So stay with me. Let's have the breakdown right here and connect it with other stories, and then you will understand why Burkina Faso president said he cannot understand the reason why we'll be in a country where we have the resources, we have the gold, we have the cotton, we have the everything. Then the farmers, people, local workers who are working so that this company stand, they cannot be paid well. The community where these things are, they cannot be developed with these things that we found in their communities on their land, because we have some people coming in and they are called private investors and foreign investors, and because of that, decision making to make the life of our people better become a banter at the table. We are not going to take it anymore. So you're welcome. This is official Survivor Media. Let's have this breakdown. If you're already here, hit the like button for me. Subscribe to be part of this amazing family. So Burkina Faso under Captain Ibrahim Traore has decided to take over its main cotton company, Sophitex. That is the big news that we are going to deal with right now. So this company, according to reports, the company is valued at about 607 million US dollars. I never see that money in my entire life before. $1 million. I've not seen so before. Anyway, the plan of the government of Burkina Faso right now is that the government plan to buy out all remaining private shareholders, and they want to become the only owner of this company. So in simple terms, 100% ownership, no foreign or private partners left in the middle. They don't want anybody to dispute with. The company have a problem, which is the reason why Burkina Faso's government is stepping in. There are a lot of things concerning the company. I'm going to talk about that, or let me say, I will explain that to you right now. So just stay tuned. Previously, in the life of this company, Burkina Faso and private investors, they own the share. Burkina Faso own, of course, most of it though, but the private investors also own a lot of it. So because of that, when they meet at the table, in terms of decision making, it become a whole banter on its own. Become diggy. We no go agree. We no go agree. So the government is moving in to say, look, we are now taking 100%. So private investors are out 0%. That is called nationalization right there. That is the call of Pan-Africanism right there. So let's look at 4 key things that you need to understand. Number 1, all the profits of this particular company, at first, previously, it was share. Okay, among the government, the government will take a share, and then the private owners will also take some share of the profit. But right now, every single dollar from this particular company, it goes directly to Burkina Faso's coffers, right? Now, second thing that is very critical is that Burkina Faso now have full control and decision when it comes to this particular company, Sophitex. If this happens, the government of Burkina Faso is now going to control the pricing, the production levels, the farmer payment. That is very, very important. I'm coming there. Okay, because of the farmer payment, their share, the production of the company has dropped 24%. I'll tell you about that. These are some of the reasons why the government step in fully, right? So the production level is controlled by the government. Farmer payment is controlled by the government. Export strategy controlled by the government. They no longer have any outside shareholder to argue with. Because when it comes to this decision, pricing, production level, farmer payment, export strategy, the shareholders argue a lot at the table. Because they protect their interests and everything has to work for them. They are not in for the people. So it left with the government to take decision. That is what they are doing right now. So number 3, the cotton matter in this a lot in Burkina Faso. That's one thing I want you to understand. This is a report that you can even find out on the internet. It's all over. According to report, cotton is not a small business in Burkina Faso. I've not been to Burkina Faso before, right? But when you look at report, look at the economy, cotton is not a small business in Burkina Faso. Cotton, according to report, it contributes 14% of export earning in Burkina Faso. 14%. That's a lot right there, right? So it supports millions of farmers farmers and rural jobs. So if this production or this part of the economy fall, the country will have a huge loss right there. So controlling the cotton by the government is equal to controlling major part of the economy of Burkina Faso. That is what they are doing right now. Why did the government of Burkina Faso took this drastic and critical step in the first place to begin with? The company had issues, serious issues. The company have high debt issues, failing production, delays in paying the farmers, and production level, according to report, even dropped by 24% recently. Now, what happened is that the farmers are not being paid well because of the fact that when it comes to decision making, I said it, the investors want to suffocate the farmers. Okay, so decision making wise, the farmers are not benefiting a lot from this. And because of that, the farmers are losing interest. People, instead of people going in for the cotton production, people no longer have interest in it because the pay is not good. So they begin to have, how do you call it, failing in production. They even delay paying the farmers. For the time to reach for the farmers to be paid, it become a whole banter on its own. So because of that, the production dropped by 24% in recent times. So the government of Burkina Faso under Captain Ibrahim Traore, they are stepping in to fix the system. They want to fix the system to favor the people. Because when you connect this story together, how the farmers are suffering when it comes to these things, cocoa in Ghana, for example, our farmers, what they are doing, very soon you are going to drop when it comes to cocoa production, because our farmers are cutting the cocoa trees. They want to do galamsey. Galamsey simply means illegal mining. All right, they are going to illegal mining site and say, look, I have a land, I have gold on the land, I'm cutting all the cocoa tree, come and mine illegally. So cocoa farmers farming or cocoa farmland right now, cocoa will be on it, but the people who cut the cocoa tree out and then they are transitioning them into galamsey site, destroying the forest together with the environment and the water body. That is the problem we are facing in Ghana. So if government doesn't step in to make sure that cocoa farmers don't lose interest, they need to make it appealing. If I want to go into cocoa farming, or I mean Burkina Faso, I want to go into cotton farming, I have to make sure the team must be appealing. Because everybody want money. Who doesn't want good money? You are working, you need to beg to get paid very well. So if the government doesn't step in, like Ghana, for example, to fix this problem, very soon, in few years to come, Ghana is not going to be leading when it comes to cocoa production. We are going to drop when it comes to cocoa production. And also, in terms of decision making, when it comes to cocoa production in Ghana, for example, government doesn't have full decision making. Private investors, and because of their nonsense collateral agreement that they had and all that, the president even spoke about it that no, they need to fix it, and he said a couple of things that I agree with. You can watch that video shortly before you move forward.
So we held a crisis meeting and we took decisions, and one of the major problems is that to buy cocoa from our own farmers, we rely on funding from outside. And you know what the collateral for the funding is, our own cocoa beans. And so you have to collateralize the beans to the financier, buy the beans and just ship them, and they pay you the international market price. So one of the key decisions we've taken is that we're going to stop foreign funding for the purchase of our cocoa. We are going to raise domestic bonds. We have enough CDs in Ghana to pay for our cocoa. We're going to raise domestic bonds, buy our own cocoa. We don't need to collateralize the beans. And you know the interesting part, we have the capacity to process 400,000 tons of those beans, processing capacity in Ghana. But because the beans are collateralized, we cannot even allocate those beans to the local processors. We have to ship all the beans outside. Now, if we buy the beans ourselves, we can take 400,000 tons out of the beans and give to our local processors to add value. That is what the Accra research is about.
Yes, that's the president right there, because we can't continue like this. All right, so this is kind of a similar thing when you compare it and then you connect it to Burkina Faso right there. The government must step in to fix the problem. If not, in Burkina Faso, as cocoa cotton production has dropped about 24%. In the next 2-3 years, you are going to see it will drop. It will keep dropping and keep dropping and keep dropping. Before you know, the industry will collapse. But this is something that contributes 14% of the economy of Burkina Faso. So the government said, look, we are not going to have it, all right? We are going to step in to make sure that we fix it. So they step in. The only way to solve the problem is to make sure that they take 100% ownership, so that when it comes to paying the farmers, nobody will be arguing with them at the table. When it comes to profit that they are making, nobody will be arguing with them. Export strategy, nobody will be arguing with them. They don't have anybody to dispute with. So you can see that gradually Burkina Faso is taking over control of their resources. I told you, when those of you who watched the previous video about the gold right now, Burkina Faso is saying that, look, we are going to take from 50%, the share is now going for how do you call it, 40%. And I said it in the previous video that I will not be surprised if in the future Burkina Faso will try to take over completely, because as they take over this one, it didn't start like this. They started with small, okay? They are buying the share gradually, before you realize now they have all the share. The gold company also, the gold mining companies also, they push it from whatever percent, it comes to 50%. They were there before they realize that things are moving well. They increase it now to what? 40%. Tomorrow they might wake up and say, yeah, it's now going to 50% or 55% or 60%. We are taking ownership, because they are making sure they are grooming local workers and local suppliers to come in. Before you realize, when they have the expertise and everything, the local people in Burkina Faso are going to take over their key industry and mining companies. The same thing, I think, kind of happening in Ghana right here when it comes to the Damang gold mine, where Ibrahim Mahama is coming to take over. He has already even taken over. He's not coming to take over. He has already taken over. Apart from the propaganda from the opposition, forgetting the fact that under their own regime or their own government, the Akufo-Addo government, Akufo-Addo give letter to this man to go to Goldfield and let them sit down so that they can take over the mine. Akufo-Addo has given the opportunity to Ibrahim Mahama, but because of politics, you see, one of the reasons why it is good that Burkina Faso has been able to dissolve all the political parties so that we don't have opposition when it comes to decision making on these issues. Assuming there's opposition is going to be like there's Ghana, very useless opposition we have here. They'll wake up and be like, yeah, Ibrahim Traore, the government is trying to take over our gold.
Ghana, why?
I mean, up with the whole of nonsense that you cannot understand, opposition, and making it look like the government is trying to steal the people and then painting the government black before the people. Yeah, that is politics. So that cannot push our nation forward, right? When Ibrahim Mahama, for example, in Ghana, for example, where under the Akufo-Addo administration, they had agreement. Akufo-Addo said he should take over the mine, right? Akufo-Addo was pushing that he should take over the mine. You know, since he has worked with Goldfield for a long time, he can take over the mine. We didn't see anybody from the NPP speaking about it. They were not talking about it. They were not making noise. But you need, that is their politics. When you are in power, we need to work against you, sabotage your work, forgetting the fact that what is patriotism? When you sabotage the government, you are sabotaging the state. That is one thing. I want the NPP to understand this. You people, both the NPP and NDC politicians, you lack patriotism. When a government is in power and because of politics, you want to sabotage their work. This thing that you people do, both of you do in this country, the government is in power. If it is MPP, NDC is going to sabotage them. If it is NDC, MPP will do everything to sabotage them. Just that MPP, they do it so visibly, too visible. You understand? Everybody can see that, oh, this is just sabotaging, right? When you are doing that, you are sabotaging the state. But well, family, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think about this development? Is Burkina Faso on the right track? I would say yes, they are on the right track. But well, opinion they say are different. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you subscribe and be part of this awesome family. All right. Thank you for all the support. Respect. See you in the next episode.